Yes, yes. You want Grandpa to tell you another story, huh? Well, this one is called Slasher's Keep. And it started something like this.
Okay, so get this. I woke up in some random cell and I seemed trapped. Guess I was arrested for that all-night ketamine and KFC bender I was going on. Oh well, I see the door, and the only weapon that I have is my face, so yeah, I guess that worked. After I was debated by some postmodern wall decorations, I go over to some shining chest. Must be from through all the ketamine. Some trash gets shot out at me, and this is when I notice that I am a beautifully chiseled green man with a nice mustache. Words pop into my vision, telling me to kill, so I just go ahead and slash everything at range. After taking a few more whacks for good measure, I open up the cell to my door, and I come across a large corridor. After some time, I find this nice enough gentleman with sunken-in eyes like something out of an Asian horror flick, and I listen to the voices in my head telling me to kill. Turning the corner, I get jumped by his friends, who end up swarming me with their bodies dried like day-old prunes, and I continue slashing them in the face, all the while trying to push back the words of God, telling me that they are corrupted by sin, and they must be punished. About this time, I realize that they aren't too bright. Good for me. About this time, those words pop up in my head again, telling me to swing my magical sack at these creatures, running them into the first of many traps. Finding a man that just screams heteronormative, I sneak up behind him and I smash him right in the sternum with my sack, helping him meet his end. Turning another corner, I meet more prune friends, and I try my hand at this angel dust wand. It works well enough. Realizing I won't get a much better opportunity than this, I decide to remove this creature from existence. At this time, I am privy to the moving rituals of the creatures in this Heleth labyrinth, and I spam angel dust directly into their corneas. Taking a page from these creatures, I smash the nearest box with pretty pictures all over it, and what do I find but a drop of E, some chicken, and a daikon. Shut up, you baka, that's what they're called in Japanese. Soon after, I find a button in a wall, cleverly hidden with sparkles all around it, opening to what I only hope to be my end by BDSM. Wandering the floor, opening more doors, to my surprise, I found a man made of ballsack skin. Our sack man truly packs a punch, and in a dramatic twist of irony, my sack is finally the one that's beating me. I stand face to face with this man of sack, and after giving him a few good whacks, I find the power of God to finally flow through me. Taking a second to fully admire my glistening body, I dump all of my points into strength, because after all, who levels dex? Next to me is another sack man, and after giving him another few whacks, I turn to yet another chest that's sparkling, but it ends up being just filled with shit. After disposing of yet another mass of wrinkled, writhing flesh, I find what is quite possibly this world's native fleshlight. See? Look at all those delicious spikes. Wandering to this next area, I found an ironclad midget with anger issues as he tries to sack me, but I have the one-up, both in height and combat prowess. I take a page from its book and try to smack it into the conveniently placed spikes lining the room and greedily stash all the gear that flew from his corpse. After wandering for a while, I realize I have a new wand on me, so I try it out and lo and behold, it shoots fireballs! Too bad my aim is actually horrific. In this room, I also find a bunch of pots, so I do what any sane green-tunicked child would do and I smash them with glee. I find something called a component, and the voices tell me I can make weapons with it. We'll probably never actually see that function, though. Locked in yet another room with Pruneface and his band of merry men, I deftly position myself in just the right place to let that guy in the back snipe me in the face with his wand. Meanwhile, I go to town on this poor being's face with my +10 dagger of cereal flaying. While carefully avoiding every blast of this fellow's wand, I get up close and personal with his glowing rod as he takes the phrase "just the tip" a little too seriously as he jams it into my eye sockets and lets off a few rounds of magical spunk. A few short slashes later, and God informs me that I have become stronger. Daiko no moto taberu, as I figure it's a good time to dump into something other than strength, as you never know if you need a good big word good, and now I can equip a pretty necklace. Oh boy, do I find another hidden fun toy as I gleefully slash at it, hoping I can keep a piece of the good, but all it drops is a crusty map. I unfold it, and I gain some knowledge about this floor, and I'm on to wander into the next floor. Review Zeds wonder why I smell like day-old mayonnaise left out in the sun. I tell them they really shouldn't be asking questions I wish I didn't know the answers to, and instead wonder why your head's on the floor. I'm sprinting back into the room with the diminutive do-gooder, and unlock the door to what I can only hope is freedom above this ladder. Some fun loading text informs me of some story I don't care about, and I'm instead treated with another floor in this hellish labyrinth. But now behind this door are spiders the size of Labradors jumping at me quicker than a Karen jumps at a poor 19-year-old for not scanning in her expired coupons and tasting the blood in the air as she utters the dreaded M-word. I wander the halls of this new hellhole and I find a rejected Venomoth idea as I take a few slashes at it, and it crumbles to the ground as expected. Then I wander the halls a bit more and I find some friendly old faces coming over to catch up about all the good times we had in college. Just kidding. I do to their faces what that one crackhead in Miami did to the other guy a few years ago. Oof, don't Google that. Freedom is just beyond these bars, as I can see a large valley stretch out before me, and as I turn to continue my romp through this devilish dungeon, I hope and pray that my key to salvation is just beyond this door. Nope, just more people to feed my ever-growing bloodlust. Enter a new combatant. Apparently that blue dude with the radical stuff can make pluses emanate from these creatures like some horrible Copperfield knockoff, but it's all the same to me. They all go down to my blade. Something they didn't count on was me baiting the creatures just outside of the buff's range. See? Even with one int, you can do good think. Doesn't quite matter because those bastards use my one weakness against me. Death. I wake back up in my cell, and the realization that I may have to trudge through this entire cesspool of depression again, so I figure, headbutt the door, get off this floor, and hopefully I'll never encounter a dinosaur. I did, however, encounter a nice scarf and a nightie. Some time passes, and I find a donut version of my Fun Time toy, but unfortunately I take a few slashes at it, and it is the one that's doing the exploding this time, not me. As the dust clears, I encounter some weird face. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what this thing is, but it's the first thing that's spoken to me this entire time, so I'm not going to slash at it just yet. Feeling a sudden rush of deja vu, I sidestep the angry person once again and smash him directly into the spikes like some demented version of a piñata and scarf down his treasure trove. I do a quick equipment check to just make sure that this potato sack doesn't clash with the shit stains from my borrowed breeches, and I continue down the journey to depravity. Now, normally I'm a jackass, but this game understood that and laid a secret out for me in plain sight. I jump with delight and instantly start slashing open all these boxes like that weird cousin you have that takes a pair of scissors to all his presents on Christmas and just hope against hope that one doesn't have a puppy in it. Thinking back on that, it's kind of the parents' fault for putting a puppy in a box. I'm calling PETA on your memories. Sometime later, back on floor 2, and I'm greeted by another, "Holy shit, did you just see that? Man, I'm pretty awesome with this sack, huh? Look at that. Oh, snap! I am a god." Hey, a shop. A shop with a ball sack and a top hat, it looks like. You know, if you're surprised as I am about the fact that we've been accumulating money in this nightmarescape, then you'll also be pretty pleased to know that I spent said money on something I couldn't use. Oh, lovely. Checking to make sure that clicking the same item multiple times does nothing, it indeed seems like I bought something that I can't use. Great going, me. Yes, clicking it multiple times doesn't somehow make it work, you jackass. Thinking tactically for once, I see an opportunity with an explosive barrel, so I line up my shot, hit it, and nothing. Well, I have a second chance, and miraculously, it's going. Also doesn't do shit. Man, today's a total win, huh? And back to slashing at this freaky thing. Around the bend, I see a third chance to finally use the environment to my advantage. Line up the shot like Legolas, and sit back, watch, and boom! 2 shriveled gentlemen explode and shoot a fleshlight out at me. Some slashing later, and unfortunately the only thing it drops is the bar a little lower, and some money that I'll probably squander again. The realization that I'll probably never see my wife and kids again. I do what any young communist boy would do growing up in the USSR, and I try to eat the homeless. By the glory of Stalin, this beatnik drops precious coins, and I will hopefully find a babushka on a lesser-used road selling bread for a modest price to this poor traveler. A strange thought occurs to me. Maybe these explosive barrels can lead to some secrets. I whack one and run away, and I hope. But alas, there is nothing in these dead ends. I keep wandering and I find some diesel oil, and I wonder if this land has big rigs. But the thought perishes just as quickly as a goldfish's thought about this weird force field keeping itself floating in this odd bubble. The scent of banana fills the air as I find a yellow slime, and I shudder at that implication. Ugh. I'm amused at the idea that this lemon-colored fun loofah could be this floor's guardian as it shoots out tasty morsels of armor and weapons upon its death. I gear up and clear my inventory of trash, as I once again admire my chiseled green body. After putting on a chest piece that makes me look like some kind of new age druid that uses vegan-friendly animal summoning spells, I think about all the new skulls I can crack with this equally average hammer that I just found. Opening another door and taking my chances with a room full of 8-legged labradoodles, I honestly stunned myself as I line the spiders up and I take a few whacks with my jolly beige sack and smack these arachnids into the wall spikes. I don't know, I figured they'd be like too small or something. Finding another portcullis to the outside. Like some philosophical metaphor, I find another prison, not unlike the one I started this journey in. More flesh goblins and a healer in this narrow passageway as I slash at the Zambroni and line up a very easy kill with this healer. I mean, it's not going to be this easy, is it? Like, okay. Okay, I guess it was that easy. I almost killed myself too, look at that. Many more long hours do I wander these halls. I finally find a floor to ladder 3. While exploring it, I'm accosted by many ruffians, and I find a conniving trap that I try to use to end a rat's existence, but I end up ending my own instead. The grinding halls is just too much for me, as I find myself back in my cell. I can't take this anymore, and I finally lay down to rest. Anyways, that was Slasher's Keep. So, thank you so much for watching. I put a lot of time and effort into this video. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, liking it, spreading it with your friends, family, co-workers, neighbors, maybe that weird dude down the street. I don't know. Maybe he might be into him. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.